walked into a traditional brick-and-mortar retail store, say 20 years ago, the shop owner could literally watch your eyes.
Absolutely.
Right? They could see you pick up a heavy winter sweater, check the price tag, frown, and then just put it right back on the rack. That hesitation, that very specific moment of friction, it was entirely visible to the naked eye.
Exactly. And, the most important part of that interaction was what happened next. The shopkeeper could walk right over and just ask, hey, is it the price or is the wool too scratchy? The feedback loop was instantaneous.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it was distinctly human.
But then, of course, we moved commerce online. We gained infinite global scale, which is great, but we lost that direct physical line of sight.
We did.
We replaced the watchful eyes of the shopkeeper with the analytical engine of the e-commerce platform. So the hesitation became a bounce rate. The frown became an abandoned checkout cart. And the fundamental question we are wrestling with today is how we compensate for that lost visibility.
Right. Do we build a more ruthless, mathematically precise tracking machine to just monitor every click? Or, do we find new qualitative ways to actually talk to the customer and build a genuine relationship?
Which brings us to the core of our discussion today. Welcome to The Debate, streaming here on the Biz English channel. Before we dive fully into the mechanics of modern commerce, I want to briefly remind our audience to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share your opinions in the comments section as this discussion unfolds.
Yes, please do. We love reading those.
So today, we are examining the modern e-commerce landscape to answer a critical question. In today's digital marketplace, what is the primary engine for sustainable sales growth? I will argue that rigorous data analytics and personalized funnel optimization are the definitive blueprint for e-commerce growth.
And I will argue that organic content, proactive customer service, and post-purchase relationship building are the true sustainable drivers of customer loyalty.
Look, I know there is a strong sentiment in the market right now that business must return to a highly conversational, localized feel. I see why you think that, but let me give you a different perspective.
Go for it.
Understanding the customer mathematically is the absolute foundation of modern commerce. I mean, website analytics aren't just numbers on a screen, they are a goldmine of behavioral truth.
A gold mine, huh?
A total goldmine, because they strip away the noise of what people say they do and reveal what they actually do by turning this passive data into immediate action, through dynamic content, meticulously tailored product recommendations, and optimizing every micro stage of the sales funnel from awareness to conversion. We achieve the most precise, scalable way to drive revenue.
Okay, but
Let me just finish this thought. We aren't guessing what the customer wants. The data proves it.
well, I come at it from a different way. Reducing the customer to a series of isolated data points in a sales funnel, it just creates a highly transactional, entirely brittle business model.
Brittle?
Yes, brittle. Because true sustainable growth stems from qualitative interactions. It comes from directly asking customers what they think, understanding their psychology, and building organic trust through genuine content marketing, like in-depth blogs or authentic video reviews.
Sure, content is nice, but
But it's more than nice, it's essential. Creating what we call raving fans through seamless, proactive customer service and a completely frictionless post-purchase experience matters infinitely more than mathematically optimizing the exact shade of blue on a checkout button. A mathematically perfect site simply cannot save a brand that lacks a human soul.
Okay, let's start right there with this concept of truth in consumer behavior. I champion passive analytics tracking, exact drop-off points, measuring dwell time on a page, or running rigorous A/B testing of different layouts. That is the ultimate truth teller.
Is it though?
Yes, because the problem with qualitative engagement, like those post-purchase surveys and feedback forms you mentioned, is self-reporting bias. Human beings, frankly, are notoriously bad at predicting or even understanding their own behavior.
I mean, that's fair to an extent.
Right. A customer will tell a market researcher they deeply care about sustainably sourced organic materials, but the behavioral data clearly shows they sort the category by lowest price, and they will abandon the cart immediately if they realize shipping isn't free. passive data collection observes the reality of their actions, completely bypassing the fiction of their claims.
Look, I hear your point about self-reporting bias. I really do. But you're missing the bigger picture of what analytics actually represent. I won't dispute that your dashboard provides a highly accurate picture of the actions taken.
Thank you.
But while analytics show us what is happening, they completely fail to explain why it is happening. You look at a screen and see that users are dropping off on a specific heavy winter coat page, right?
Yes.
The data tells you the conversion rate fell by 15% this week. But why? Is it because the price is too high? Is the product description confusing? Is it because the sizing chart doesn't make sense?
Well,
Passive analytics are like using sonar on a submarine. You're bouncing sound waves off the customer in the dark. You can see the shape of the obstacle, the abandoned cart, but you have absolutely no idea what color it is or what it's made of. To know that, you actually have to turn on the lights and talk to them. You need market research and active community engagement.
okay. I have to push back on the idea that the why can only be discovered through conversation. That feedback can absolutely be deduced mathematically, and frankly, much faster.
Faster than just asking?
Yes, infinitely faster. If I suspect the sizing chart is the issue, I don't need to convene a focus group. I simply deploy an A/B test. I serve 50% of the traffic the old sizing chart and 50% a new, simplified metric chart.
Right. If the conversion rate recovers on the new version, I have answered the why without ever needing to intrude on the customer's day with a survey. Think of data analytics as an architectural blueprint. It shows exactly where the structural load is bearing down. It highlights precisely where the friction in the customer journey exists, allowing us to reinforce the digital structure seamlessly. An architectural blueprint is a great way to describe your approach, actually. But a blueprint doesn't tell you if the house actually feels like a home to the person living in it.
Oh, come on!
No, I mean it. You can build a structurally sound, highly optimized e-commerce experience that is utterly devoid of brand affinity. A perfectly engineered hallway still feels like a hospital corridor if there's no warmth to it. If you rely solely on the blueprint, you are treating the customer as a load to be managed, rather than a guest to be welcomed.
A blueprint doesn't tell you if a house feels like a home. Actually, this is the exact friction point I want to ask our audience about.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, if you're watching this on the Biz English channel right now, go to the comments. We want to hear from you. Do you trust an e-commerce brand more when they perfectly predict what you want using data tracking, or when they actively engage with you through community and organic content? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you're enjoying this discourse so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I really look forward to reading those comments, because I suspect the audience's tolerance for being perfectly predicted is much, much lower than you think. Which brings us perfectly to the realities of hyper-personalization.
Let's unpack that then, because hyper-personalization is the engine of modern digital revenue. When we utilize the data we've collected, we can engineer an experience that feels incredibly bespoke.
Bespoke or creepy?
Bespoke. Customers today expect us to anticipate their needs. We achieve this by deploying machine learning algorithms that analyze a user's browsing history in milliseconds. We use cookies and tracking pixels to cluster them into a specific buyer persona.
Right, you put them in a box.
We put them in a category so we can serve customized discounts, dynamic messaging that changes based on their exact preferences, and highly targeted paid ads across their social media. This isn't just throwing generic marketing into the void. This is pushing a specific user from the consideration phase directly into conversion because we put the exact right product in front of them at the exact right moment.
But putting the right product in front of them is often just a sanitized way of saying you are stalking them across the internet.
I wouldn't call it stalking.
I would. Hyper-personalization can feel incredibly hollow and, frankly, invasive if the brand hasn't established actual organic expertise. We've all experienced this. Just last week, I abandoned a cart for a pair of hiking boots because the shipping was an outrageous $15.
Okay, standard abandonment.
Right, but for the next 5 days, your algorithm chased me across every website I visited with ads for those exact same boots. The algorithm didn't know I was annoyed by the shipping cost. It just assumed it needed to corner me until I submitted. I argue that drawing customers in with genuine, organic value is vastly superior.
How so? If they want the boots, showing them the boots is the most direct path to a sale.
Because you haven't built trust. you've just built a trap. This is where organic content marketing becomes vital. Instead of chasing me with retargeted ads, imagine if that brand had produced an incredibly detailed 20-minute video breaking down the exact materials of those boots, how they hold up in the mud, and how to size them properly.
So content creation.
Exactly. By creating valuable content or collaborating with credible influencers who actually use the gear, you establish the brand as an authority. When you provide information that genuinely helps a consumer, you attract them organically. They come to you because they trust your expertise, not because your predictive model effectively wore them down.
I understand the appeal of the organic approach, I really do. But from a purely mechanical standpoint, organic content marketing is inherently inefficient.
Inefficient?
Yes. You are casting a massive net into the ocean with a blog post or a long-form video, just hoping the person reading it happens to be in the active buying window. With targeted advertising and dynamic personalization, I am reaching people who have already demonstrated high purchase intent.
Sure, but
If a user spends 3 minutes looking at a specific piece of industrial espresso equipment, they are in the market. If I dynamically alter my homepage to feature case studies and video demos for that exact espresso machine the next time they log on, I am providing immense value. I am actively streamlining their cognitive load.
streamlining cognitive load. Wow. That is exactly what I mean by treating the customer like a structural load to be managed. Look, I'm not suggesting we abandon targeted advertising altogether.
Because that would be commercial suicide.
But if your foundational strategy isn't built on organic value, the customer relationship is strictly transactional. When you leverage an influencer's credibility or when you build an active social media community, you are engaging with customers where they live. You are providing value before a transaction ever occurs, and more importantly, long after it finishes.
Right.
And that builds a reservoir of goodwill that a dynamically generated 10% off discount code simply cannot replicate.
Well, goodwill is certainly a pleasant concept for a brand manifesto, but it is the physical user experience, the technical UX, that actually captures revenue. If we want to talk about removing friction, we have to talk about the literal digital architecture of the site.
Let's talk about it.
Let's look at the psychology of a buyer. Every millisecond a page takes to load, or every time a user has to physically pinch to zoom on their phone to read a sizing chart, you introduce micro-frictions. The human brain subconsciously interprets this digital friction as risk. And the immediate physiological response to that risk is to abandon the cart. Therefore, page load speeds must be lightning fast. The design must be completely mobile first, recognizing that the vast majority of traffic originates from smartphones. We need intuitive layouts with absolutely no dead ends. We require high-quality, instantly loading images. If you do not have this technical UX perfection, all the organic goodwill in the world won't save your conversion rate.
I won't argue that poor UX will kill a sale. Obviously, if your site takes 10 seconds to load, the customer is gone. But what you were describing, fast load times, mobile optimization, clear images, that is merely table stakes in today's market.
Table stakes? It's highly technical engineering.
But it doesn't differentiate a brand anymore. It simply gives you the right to exist in the marketplace. I posit that the real battle for sustainable growth isn't won in the milliseconds before the click. It is won in the weeks and months post-purchase.
But the transaction is already complete at that point. The revenue has been captured.
Captured once. But acquiring a brand new customer is exponentially more expensive than retaining an existing one. The post-purchase reality is where the brand promise is either validated or completely broken.
Okay, fair.
It's about the psychology of safety. Do you offer easy, unquestioned returns? Is your shipping communication incredibly clear, or are they left wondering where their package is for a week? Most importantly, it is about customer service. Let me give you a very real scenario.
Go ahead.
A customer receives a damaged product. They have to call your support line, navigate an automated phone tree, and then repeat their order number and their problem to 3 different representatives. If that happens, every single ounce of that front-end UX optimization you built is rendered entirely useless. They will never return, and they will tell their friends not to return either.
Okay, but notice what is absolutely required to execute that seamless customer service you just described. Pristine data.
I'm not anti-data.
The only way a customer service representative can anticipate a caller's needs or ensure their customer doesn't have to repeat their order number 3 times is if the company's customer relationship management system, their CRM, is perfectly synced with the website's analytics and purchase history. The representative needs the machine to tell them who is calling and what they bought. The quantitative machine is what actually empowers the qualitative human interaction.
Empowering the human is exactly my point. The data should serve the relationship, it shouldn't replace it. Proactive customer service means a human being sees a shipping delay flagged in the CRM and they personally email the customer to apologize and offer a solution before the customer even realizes there is a problem.
Right, using the data.
But it's human empathy utilizing a technical tool. That is profoundly different from using an algorithm to ruthlessly optimize a checkout page. You create raving fans by proving you actually care about their experience after you have safely secured their credit card.
I don't disagree that post-purchase satisfaction is critical for retention, but we must be precise about what enables that satisfaction in the first place. If the front-end UX includes a highly detailed product description, an accurate metric sizing chart, and a flawless 3D model of the product, the customer gets exactly what they expect.
In theory.
In practice, they don't need to utilize the easy return policy. They don't need to call the empathetic customer service rep. By mathematically optimizing the top and middle of the funnel, we drastically reduce the burden on the post-purchase team. We engineer the problems out of existence.
You can engineer a lot of things, but you simply cannot eliminate the human variable. E-commerce is not a closed mathematical system. There are always going to be edge cases.
Sure, anomalies happen.
Right. There will be shipping anomalies, complex human needs, and unpredictable external factors. If your entire business model is predicated solely on funnel optimization and avoiding human contact, your organization will lack the empathy muscles required to handle the inevitable moments when the machine fails. And the machine always fails eventually.
Which, I think, brings us to a fascinating point of synthesis. We have spent this discussion debating the supremacy of the quantitative machine versus the qualitative human touch. Yet when we step back, it is clear that truly understanding the customer is the ultimate foundation for both of our perspectives.
It absolutely is. Whether you are a data analyst reviewing a digital heat map to see exactly where a user stopped scrolling on a page, or a community manager reading a paragraph of detailed feedback in a post-purchase survey, the ultimate goal is comprehensive customer understanding.
Right. And nowhere is this convergence more apparent than in pricing strategies. To implement competitive, value-based pricing in today's market, you absolutely need a delicate balance of both approaches. You need the quantitative data of A/B testing to understand exact price elasticity. Meaning, you need the math to show you exactly how sensitive buyers are to a $1 increase in price and to see which pricing bundles convert at the highest rate.
But you equally need the qualitative understanding of customer value to know what to put in those bundles in the first place. You have to understand the market sentiment. You have to gauge the perceived value of your organic brand reputation and rely on the trust you've built through content and service.
Exactly.
You cannot effectively price a product if you don't understand the emotional and human context in which it is being purchased.
The modern e-commerce landscape is not static. It is fiercely competitive and constantly evolving. The tracking algorithms become more sophisticated by the day, yet consumer desire for authenticity and genuine connection simultaneously grows stronger.
Which means modern business leaders are tasked with walking a very fine line. They must ruthlessly optimize the machine of analytics and automated UX while vigorously defending the humanity of genuine customer relationship building.
It is a profound challenge, and one that requires rigorous, ongoing intellectual discipline to navigate successfully. I want to thank our audience for joining us in this intellectual exchange today.
Yes, it has been an absolute pleasure exploring the depths of this material with you and with everyone watching at home.
Before we sign off, remember to subscribe to the Biz English channel, like this video, and keep the debate going in the comments section below. We truly look forward to reading your insights on where the balance between data and humanity lies. In the end, we can draft the most precise, mathematically flawless architectural blueprint the industry has ever seen.
But it is entirely up to us to ensure that when the customer finally walks through the door, the digital house actually feels like a home.
Until next time.